Good morning, friends. Today for math, I need you to go into the math folder that I just sent home with your work pickup and take out the packet that looks like this on the front. It says Work Math, adding 3-digit numbers. Push pause while you go and grab this, and when you're ready, you can push play again. All right, so we're going to open up today and look at the very second page, I guess we would call it, double digit addition. Last week, we talked about double digit addition without regrouping. The important thing we need to remember is to line up your tens and ones. Start on the right. So we start in our ones column, and I would read this problem as 32 plus 25. We add our 2 and 5 from both of these numbers because they're in the ones column. That equals 7. So I would write 7 in the ones column below the 2 and 5. Then I would move to my tens and add the 3 tens and the 2 tens to get 5 tens. So 32 plus 25 equals 57. Let's turn to our next page, the back of that page. And I have a little poem that can help you to remember 2-digit addition without regrouping. First, you add the ones. They're on the right, you know. Then you add the tens, and on you go. Ones, tens, cha-cha-cha. Ones, tens, cha-cha-cha. You can always come back to this page throughout our entire lesson to help you remember to always start on your ones and then move on to your tens. So today we're going to do a project. We are going to skip this page for right now and turn to our Christmas tree page. You are going to find the page that has a square and a triangle. And I'm going to carefully just pull right there and rip this page off. So look, I just ripped it off. I'm going to set this over to the side. I also need the page with the star and the big triangle. I'm going to rip this one right off and set it to the side underneath my first page. Then we see our huge triangle, which I'm going to rip off carefully again and set to the side. Now, you will have a page that says 2-digit addition without regrouping. These are going to be our ornaments for our tree. So we're carefully going to take this page and rip this page off. Don't worry if you get some of the words like I did. Those aren't going to be the important part. So I'm going to put this over to the side as well. Now, this whole packet I can close back up, and look, it's still stapled because I just tore them off all messy like. And this packet can go back into your folder for math so you remember where it is, and we can continue using it throughout the next couple of chapters. Now, I want you to have this page in front of you. I'm going to have you push pause on the video and cut out on this dark line, not the dotted line. We usually cut on the dotted line, but not today. Today we're cutting on the thick outer line, just like Mrs. Swart is. And I'm going to cut out my entire triangle and my entire square just like that. When you're done cutting those two out, you can push play again. All right, friends, so we just cut out our square which is our trunk, and our first triangle, which is going to be part of our Christmas tree. Your next job is going to be on the next page that has a bigger triangle and a star to carefully cut out each of those. When you cut out the star, don't worry about these little designs around there. We're just simply going to carefully cut around the outside line of that. All right, and once again, cut on the dark outside line, not the dotted line. You can push pause, and when you're done cutting out, push play again. All right, so you should have just cut out your star and your next triangle. The next step is our page that says bottom with the huge triangle. So once again, we're simply going to cut on the dark outer sides of this triangle. You can push pause while you do that, and when you're finished, come right on back to me by pushing play. All right, welcome back, friends. We now have all of the parts of our Christmas tree cut out. Our next job is to make it look like a Christmas tree by coloring it in. So I'm going to take a green to color in each of my triangles to make it look like a Christmas tree. I'm then going to take a brown to color in my trunk, which is the square. And I'm going to use a black, if I can find one, to neatly write my name right here. Mrs. Swart. And then I'm going to use a yellow to color in my star. So I want you to push pause again and neatly color in each of these pieces. When you've finished coloring in, you can push play to come back to me for our next set of instructions. Happy coloring! All right, welcome back. It's now time to put our tree together. So make sure you grab a glue stick. Our first step is going to be to take our trunk. Now it's a square, so it does not matter one bit which side of this square that you put your glue on. I'm going to do a line right across the top of it. And then I'm going to take my largest triangle and simply set it down right on there. So now I have an odd-looking tree. Now I'm going to take my next two triangles and take a look. All right, the next biggest one I want, and I'm going to put glue right along the top part of my big one that's glued to my trunk. And then take this triangle and put it right on. And then I'm going to do the exact same thing with my last triangle. Slap some glue on here. And then put this puppy on. And now I have a tree. I like to go back and just make sure that these are on real good. So just going to lift it up a tiny bit and make sure I've got it glued down nicely. There we go. And now I have my star that I'm going to put right on top, just like that. So now I have my Christmas tree. But what does that have to do with math? Well, it's time to take our tree and put it over to the side for now. We will come back to it. And instead, we're going to grab our addition page. It is time for us to use our knowledge of addition with two-digit numbers. So we're going to take a look at a couple of these together. My first ornament says 45 plus 23. So let's remember, we always start with our ones. So I could draw a line and do my TO if I wanted to for my tens and ones. And I know I'm going to start with my ones. So 5 plus 3 equals 8. Then we're going to do our tens. 4 plus 2 equals 6. So now I should be able to say 45 plus 23 equals 68. I'm going to go down for the next one. Let's practice reading this together. 29 plus 70. Where do we start? If you said the ones, then you're correct. So let's look at our ones column. In my ones, I see 9 plus 0. I know anything plus 0 equals the number, so I'm going to write down 9. I'm going to come to my tens and practice saying 2 tens plus 7 tens equals 9 tens. So 29 plus 70 equals 99. All right, my friends, let's look at the one on the bottom here. Can you read this problem out loud to me? If you said 42 plus 43, you are correct. Now, where are we going to start? If you said in the ones, then you are correct. What do we see in our ones column? Correct, the 2 and 3. So we're going to add 2 plus 3, and we get 5. Now where do we go? Yes, to the tens. Remember, we're not going to say 4 plus 4. We're going to say 4 tens plus 4 tens. And that equals 8 tens. So let's read our whole problem and sum together. 42 plus 43 equals 85. What I would like you to do now is push pause and take a moment to go through our next 9 problems and solve them. Practice reading the problem, then identifying the ones and adding them, and reading our tens as however many tens plus however many tens equals however many tens. Then reading your whole problem with the sum. When you've done all 9, come on back by pushing play. Happy adding. If you need support, go back in your addition packet to look at the rhyming poem to help you out. All right, my friends, welcome back. I want you to take a moment to look at each of the answers and make sure you added correctly by checking your answers with mine. You can push pause while you do that. And when you're ready and all your answers are correct and you figured out maybe what your mistakes were, you can push play again. All right, we are ready for our next step, and I'm super excited for our next step. Mrs. Swartz is simply going to take a marker, a black marker. Mine's a Sharpie. You probably don't want to use a permanent marker like I am, but it's the only black marker I have here. So what I'm going to do is, now that I know I have all of the right answers, I'm going to take my marker and go over my answer by tracing each of them in black. When I'm finished tracing each of them, my job is going to be to decorate each of my ornaments. So you can be as creative as you want, or you can just color them solid colors. That is totally up to you, my friends. So when you are finished tracing each of these sums to your 2-digit addition problems, you're going to take those crayons back out and decorate. So I'm going to start off and do a stripe theme. So I'm simply going to color in my ornaments. All right, I'm going to show you with the first one, because then I'm going to give you a couple of different directions. So I've got my red and green. Okay. There. So let's pretend that I've decorated all of my ornaments now, okay? They're all colored in. I know they're not, but we're pretending, remember? After I'm all colored in, I'm going to take my handy dandy scissors and cut out my ornaments. I like to go one at a time. Carefully cut it on this dotted line and go step by step so that I don't accidentally lose any of my ornaments. So I'm cutting out. Now that I have one ornament cut out, I'm going to take my Christmas tree back here, slap some glue on my ornament, and glue it to my tree. And these will be the ornaments on our Christmas tree. So your next step, remember, is going to be to decorate each of these. Feel free to use glitter or whatever else you have at home to make these look pretty, or you can just color them in. Totally up to you. But I should see some sort of decoration on here, not just cut out white circles. Then you will glue them each to your tree, okay? And if you want to add any more decorations onto your tree, you can go right ahead. When you are all finished coloring, cutting, and decorating your tree, take a picture of your decorated 2-digit without regrouping Christmas tree and send it to me on your Dojo portfolio. You did such a great job following each of these directions on how to make a Christmas tree today. I can't wait to see your finished products. See you soon, my friends.